Design thinking is a process that utilizes empathetic, creative, innovative, and analytical skills to provide solutions to an established and understood problem. This process always keeps the end user in mind as a means to create useful solutions. In addition, the process is a cycle that can be repeated until an effective and efficient solution has been produced. As outlined by Hassel-Plattner, the design thinking process involves 5 steps. The first step, Empathize, revolves around the need to really understand the problem from the perspective of the end user. Ultimately, the purpose of the first step is to grasp the situation as a whole to better comprehend what is needed. Next, in the define step of the process, the information collected from the empathize phase is analyzed and interpreted. This step allows reflection on the problem that has been established as a means to create a plan on how to address the need for a solution. This phase is focused on translating that need into a defined plan. The ideate step in the process utilizes a creative mindset to determine an innovative solution. In this step, the solution is being imagined, and research is being conducted on how to create reality from that image. In other words, this is the creative phase that allows the mind to ponder the details of the solution. During the next step, prototype, a physical or tangible solution is created. This step applies the creativity formed in the ideate phase, creating something authentic, tangible, and real. During the prototype phase, the solution is brought to life, all the while keeping the end user in mind. Peter J. Denning states that the process emphasizes frequent customer feedback from prototypes that elicit their reactions. In the test step, the prototype is reviewed, feedback is gathered, and adjustments may be made. This step involves finalizing the solution that will actually be provided to the end user. The test step allows for detailed fine-tuning and testing, ensuring that the prototype will meet the needs of the end user. While the test step provides a solution to the initial problem, this process may need to be repeated until that solution is perfect or exact. As a result, returning to the first step of the process and repeating each phase may be necessary to successful results. This process should be viewed as cyclical in nature, allowing the design to be centered on the true needs of the end user. As a graphic designer, this process can prove extremely useful to ensuring that all client needs are met and exceeded with the end product. Here's an example of how this process could apply in the graphic design world. First, the client contacts the designer and explains what is needed. The designer now enters the empathize step, getting into the mind of the client and trying to picture what he or she wants from the design. Once the designer determines these needs, the information gathered from the client is outlined and an estimate is provided to the client. This has defined the needs of the client and given the designer a better understanding of where to go next. During the ideate step, the designer will create a vision for the design, what the look and feel of the design should be, how the information should be laid out on the canvas, and other design elements. For a graphic designer, the prototype step involves the physical designing of the end product. From a presentation to a print design, this is using the tools available to apply the creativity from the ideate phase and transforming that vision into reality. With the prototype complete, the test phase allows the designer to review the design for any flaws or issues and resolve them before handing off a proof to the client. In firms with groups of designers, this phase will often involve multiple people reviewing and providing feedback on the creation. Now that the 5 steps are complete and the designer is confident the needs of the client have been met, the end product will be sent to the client for review. The goal is to exceed expectations of the client at this point. However, especially in the design world, there are many times when the designer's vision does not quite align with that of the client's. At this point, the designer will revisit step 1, try to better understand the client's problem, and travel through the process again. As discussed before, the process should be viewed as a cycle and not a simple 5 steps. There will be times where those 5 steps will be repeated multiple times to find just the right solution to blow away the end user. Meeting the client's expectations is great, but exceeding them is what will keep the designer in business. Ultimately, the process of design thinking can prove to be priceless to an entrepreneur. As Leifer, Meinel, and Plattner explain, the method of design thinking melds an end-user focus with multidisciplinary collaboration and iterative improvement, and is a powerful tool for achieving desirable, user-friendly, and economically viable design solutions and innovative products and services. Through utilizing design thinking, an entrepreneur can provide user-centered solutions that exceed the customer's expectation. As a result, the small business will be better able to remain relevant to the needs of the consumer, leading to a much higher chance of success.